Thanks for listening to the Get Over Yourself podcast, brought to you by Carol Fit Stationary Bike Program, 8-minute workouts to get super fit. Perfect Keto, the cleanest, highest potency ketone supplements. MOFO, male optimization formula with organs to boost testosterone. Let's get checked. At-home testing kits. Try lgc.com. Almost Heaven, beautiful compact home use sauna kits. B.rad's macadamia masterpiece, the mind-blowing nut butter blend. And check out bradkearns.com/shop, my personal selection of favorite products for health, fitness, and peak performance. And here we go with the show. I am bouncing no matter what. I don't care if it's a party, halfway through a great movie, when those eyelids start to feel heavier and heavier and get sleepier and sleepier. I think you know what I mean. That's melatonin kicking in, working its magic, and also triggering the lowering of adenosine, another neurotransmitter, and also dopamine, and that's what is making our eyelids feel heavy. So all these wonderful circadian-driven biological processes are kicking in at nighttime to help us feel sleepy and transition into a peaceful night of sleep. We are starting to compromise our health and interfere with all these natural processes that are so important. And when you suppress melatonin, in order to stay awake and keep engaged to your email inbox or your show that you're watching, the prominent stress hormone cortisol spikes in the bloodstream to keep you awake when it's a time when you really should be sleeping. In the final hours before bed, do mellowing activities rather than stimulatory activities. This could be foam rolling. This could be casual chatting and visiting. Oh yeah, I forgot about that in our obsession with screens these days. This could be leashing up the dog and walking him or her around the block as your last hurrah for the evening to mellow out, get some fresh air, maybe a little bit of a chill, help lower the body temperature, which is a great way to facilitate sleep. Introducing Let's Get Checked. It's a new company that makes comprehensive health, wellness, and peak performance metabolic testing more convenient than ever. You have to check these guys out right now. Go to trylgc.com/Brad and you get a beautiful presentation of what they're all about. And what they do is at-home testing kits. That's right. They send you the kit in the mail to get the fluids they need, whether it's pricking your finger, urine, saliva. You just mail it in. Don't even have to go to the blood draw lab, and you get your report in 2 to 5 days online with all your results. And they offer all kinds of stuff for health and wellness. You get your male and female sex hormone panels, comprehensive nutrition panels, sexual health and disease screening, everything in the privacy of your own home. You know from listening that I've been a huge fan of going to the blood draw labs and tracking my numbers, especially my testosterone and my other adaptive hormones. Been doing it frequently, and that helps me really track the training and lifestyle patterns that optimize health and speed recovery, and also the stupid stuff that I do, overstress, overtraining patterns that trash my hormone levels, and then I can take corrective action. I love doing it. It's really popular, but it's a little bit of a hassle to go to the labs, make the appointment, wait around. So now you just go to trylgc.com/Brad, get a 20% discount on all their tests, and everything happens at home. It's fantastic. And check this out. The results are reviewed by their physicians. And if anything concerns you, you can schedule a phone consultation with a nurse and have 24/7 access to their staff through your treatment and your resolution. Oh, these guys are revolutionizing modern medicine and self-quantification. You're going to love it. It's so simple. The website presentation is really great. So try lgc.com/Brad, automatic 20% discount, or you can use the code Brad if you're on their website. Otherwise, let's get checked, everybody. What's up, mofos? Cue the music. It's time for the MOFO Mission and a series of 10 breather shows getting into detail about the 10 lifestyle assignments of the MOFO Mission. Oh my gosh, you're going to love it. We're going to string them together. We're going to be the best that we can be. Good for ladies too, if you're listening, or good for your man if he's a little stubborn and thinking that he knows everything. It's time to become an even better mofo. And we're going to start with number 1 on the list of 10, and that's sleep. Sleep is number 1. That's right, because we don't even need to talk about any of the other matters until we get this sheet handled. And unfortunately, we pay a lot of lip service to the importance of sleep. Everyone knows how important sleep is, and we tend to drift away from these high-minded ideals, stated commitments, and get leakage here and there, and compromise on the most precious health, vitality, and peak performance instigator of them all. Why do you think this happens? I think that we have an amazing opportunity for instant gratification, constant stimulation, digital entertainment, especially at nighttime when you feel deserving because you've had such a busy, stressful, hectic day and you just want to sit back, not have some guy on a podcast scold you for staying up too late, and binge through your episodes, especially when they autoplay the next one in 10 seconds. Who thought of that, man? Now you have to push a button to stop the show instead of push a button to get the show going. Anyway, it's these dopamine triggers, these desire for this powerful instant gratification that you get from watching a great show, in the way of our big picture, long-term, healthy lifestyle practices. Listen to my breather show where I cover Dr. Lustig's amazing book, The Hacking of the American Mind, where I talk in more detail about the costs of these instant gratification, this pursuit of pleasure that counteracts or takes over everything. The dopamine pathways in our brain become flooded to the extent that we suppress our serotonin receptors, which is the way that we access long-term happiness and contentment, such as getting a good night's sleep and waking up in the morning feeling awesome, ready to go kick some butt, get some exercise, do what we gotta do, write in our gratitude journals, do all those things that we think sound good, except when you wake up and your head's a little heavy and you're drag ass and you're wondering why you watched that 3rd or 4th extra show last night. So let's get this thing straight. And first of all, acknowledge that pull, that allure of instant gratification that is throwing us off track. So I'm trying to do the best myself and throw in some recommendations and relate with you things that have worked for me. One of them is, man, when that melatonin hits, I am bouncing no matter what. I don't care if it's a party, halfway through a great movie. When those eyelids start to feel heavier and heavier and get sleepier and sleepier, I think you know what I mean. That's melatonin kicking in, working its magic, and also triggering the lowering of adenosine, another neurotransmitter, and also dopamine, and that's what is making our eyelids feel heavy. So all these wonderful circadian-driven biological processes are kicking in at nighttime to help us feel sleepy and transition into a peaceful night of sleep. And guess what? We can short circuit those, override those with the introduction of excess artificial light and digital stimulation after dark. You've probably heard me say this term over and over any chance I get, but that's probably the number one genetic disconnect of modern life. Maybe the nasty ass food is number one, and the introduction of artificial light throwing off this powerful and extremely delicate circadian rhythm is one of the biggest health disconnects. And we can do something about it, right? So when it gets dark in your environment, whatever time of year, wintertime, that means a much longer period of sleep and downtime than summertime. When it gets dark, you can go to sleep an hour or two later, whatever. So that's also natural part of the biological process of having a slower, more mellow winter experience than a higher active and more out and about summer experience. But as soon as the sun sets, I'm going to have that be your cue to start looking for ways to mellow things out and get your screen use over with on the early side of the night rather than driving it into the later portions of the night, especially when you're doing lively active engagement such as answering emails or playing video games or things that require a lot of your cognitive energy. Less objectionable, we might say, is sitting back on the couch and being entertained by a television program. But either way, when you throw this light into your world after dark, you interfere with this delicate process called dim light melatonin onset, DLMO. And that is where we are starting to compromise our health and interfere with all these natural processes that are so important. And when you suppress melatonin, in order to stay awake and keep engaged to your email inbox or your show that you're watching, the prominent stress hormone cortisol spikes in the bloodstream to keep you awake when it's a time when you really should be sleeping. Guess what that does? It increases sugar cravings. My now world-famous brother Jeff, because I've mentioned this anecdote several times, he says he's eating well, he's doing well, he exercises, he's trying to be this primal ancestral aligned, but he says his biggest problem is he has to reach for this bowl of cereal every night around 11 p.m. And he says, Brother Brad, what can I do about it? And I go, I have a perfect solution. It'll never happen again. Go to sleep at 10:30. Okay, so when you're up, when you're throwing this light into your face, especially a mobile device, because it's so easy to have that light blasting into your eyeballs wherever you are, even in bed, this is what increases sugar cravings and makes you more likely to store those calories as fat due to the hormonal dysregulation. It also messes up your sleep cycling, and what do you get as a payoff in the morning, especially if you did hit the sugar, is you get kind of a high insulin drag ass level where you can't get out of bed. And that's too bad. You know why? Because first thing in the morning, that's when our bodies are naturally optimized to deliver spikes in the mood elevating energetic hormones like cortisol in the positive aspect, like serotonin, and suppress melatonin. Everything works wonderfully when you wake up near sunrise and get your eyeballs exposed to direct sunlight first thing in the morning. You'll feel a natural boost of energy. So let's talk about some assignments to get MOFO on this deal here. And the first one is to do whatever you can to minimize artificial light and digital stimulation after dark. A very popular practice is to wear the orange or yellow colored UV protective eyewear in your home environment in the evening. So when you have orange or yellow lenses, you can see perfectly well inside. Not perfectly well. Sometimes you'll stumble over stuff because it does dampen the blast of light that you get from indoor light bulbs, screen light. They call that blue light because it's the visible spectrum on the scale of light. The stuff that we can see is termed blue, even though it's coming from a white light bulb or a white screen emission, right? So we want to protect against that blue light exposure at nighttime by using the darkening lenses. So if the lens has UV protection, it is blocking a great portion of the blue light. You can go visit rawoptics.com. My main man, Matt Maruka, former podcast guest, the boy wonder in the ancestral health scene, living the dream, living a great life, and dispensing wonderful quality eyewear, very fashionable, so you can wear it out and look good at night and block that harmful blue light emission. You can also buy inexpensive pairs on Amazon. There's one called Uvex for $10. It'll change your life. Now, the other thing you can do is minimize the light sources in your home. So get one of those super cool Himalayan salt lamps that are also thought to purify the air and look awesome, and turn those on. Switch out some of your choice lamps. Switch out the white bulbs with an orange bulb. They call them bug bulbs. You can find them in the home supply store. It'll have a nice orange hue. You can also get the now popular the retro old school tungsten bulbs. You know, you can see the filament inside, and those emit an orange hue rather than that blasting white hue. They're also stylish, so you can put those into your light fixtures and do a much better job of having a mellow evening experience. If you are insisting on working with a screen, you can get the new technology, very popular now. You've probably heard of F-Lux or Iris Tech. Iris Tech is great, costs like $15, big deal, and it has all kinds of different choices to moderate the light emission from your screen after dark. Same with F-Lux, F.lux. And I think the website is Just Get Flux, F-Lux, and that'll be a free program that'll moderate the color temperature of your screen in conjunction with sunset. Fortunately, the device makers have technology now, blue light minimizing technology, called night shift on the iOS, the Apple products, and night mode, I think, in the Android products. So make sure that is activated and enabled. This is the number one enemy of your circadian rhythm. And then in the final hours before bed, do mellowing activities rather than stimulatory activities. This could be foam rolling. This could be casual chatting and visiting. Oh yeah, I forgot about that in our obsession with screens these days. This could be leashing up the dog and walking him or her around the block as your last hurrah for the evening to mellow out, get some fresh air, maybe a little bit of a chill, help lower the body temperature, which is a great way to facilitate sleep. If you want to do rituals, Arianna Huffington, her wonderful book, The Sleep Revolution, talks about how you can make a strong association in your brain between a calming evening ritual and falling asleep. So especially if you have problems falling asleep or staying asleep, do some ritualistic behaviors. For example, taking a bath, putting the candle light on in the bath, then getting into your favorite soft pair of pajamas, the attire. The brain will associate all these things with sleep. Getting into bed, I like to use those miner's lamps, with the strap. You can also find those online or in a home supply store or a sporting goods store. So you have a nice small beam of light shining on the book page. That's vastly better than looking at your mobile device and having that bright light shining on your eyeballs, suppressing melatonin. So that's your first assignment, is to minimize artificial light and digital stimulation after dark. The second assignment being mellowing out, especially in that final hour. Foam rolling has been found to stimulate parasympathetic activity very quickly because of the good pain, the endorphin rush that you get from the discomfort that occurs when you're rolling along stiff, tight muscles. So that pain relieving effect will also help mellow you out really quickly. So if you're going to watch your final show, get down on the ground for a 5-minute rolling session, anything you can do to wind down that final hour. Then for the third assignment, we're going to look at your sleep environment. And it's absolutely essential to create a wonderful, mellow sleep sanctuary, aka your bedroom, used for sleep only. There's no office desk in the corner, no paperwork, no computer screens, no TV screens, no clutter, no junk, no half-finished home improvement projects, just a nice, austere, Spartan, minimalist bedroom. You can Google the term minimalist bedroom design and see all these beautiful effects and choices for decor that associate your brain with calmness, mellowness, and actually a respite from the hectic activity and energy across the other areas of your home. Granted, there's going to be a lot of things happening in the kitchen, dirty dishes, got to remind the kids to clean those. Maybe there is an unfinished home improvement project in one corner. Okay, but just make that bedroom super cool and mellow and chill. Then the objective is to make sure that you can achieve a pitch dark sleeping experience. So get your blackout curtains, tape up with black electrical tape any of those annoying little power light emissions that you see on your air filter, your essential oil diffuser, your device chargers, all those kind of things. And speaking of that, if at all possible, charge your mobile device in the hallway outside of the bedroom so you won't be tempted to reach for it in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning. If it's not at all possible, and I'm going to argue that it's at all possible for almost all of us, except for dear sister Katie, who might be on call to deliver a baby in the middle of the night. So guess what? She has permission to have her phone at her bedside. The rest of you all, what excuse you got? You don't need that phone. Charge it in the hallway, or at least charge it out of arm's reach, and make sure that there's no light emissions anywhere. So if you have night lights going on or anything that's causing light to come into the sleeping environment, take care of business. Maybe get some tape or even low budget, tape black construction paper to the edges where the curtains don't cover. It has to be absolutely pitch dark. There's a great article on Dr. Jack Kruse's website, the Biohacker Extraordinaire, and he has a 24-hour circadian function with a whole bunch of commentary about what systems in your body are optimized at what times of the day. And one of the big points he makes is that from midnight to 3 a.m., that's when the big boys and girls come out to play. The adaptive and restorative hormones like growth hormone, testosterone, the immune function, everything kicks into high gear to restore and refresh and rejuvenate you. And those hormones are very, very light sensitive. So even tiny emissions of light under the bloody door, for Christ's sake. I have a wadded up towel that I put in my napping room, my recording studio / napping room. I know, multi-purpose. I stuff that under the door so that light can be stuffed up when I'm taking my Saturday afternoon nap after my hard high jump practice. Yeah. Okay, so the room has to be absolutely dark. The next thing you want to achieve is quiet. So whatever it takes, you can't control your outside environment, but you certainly can get a noise canceling machine or device that emits white noise, they call it. That's a steady noise that the brain gets used to and is not disruptive at all. It's actually very soothing and can be a trigger to help fall asleep. I have an app on my phone. It's for rainfall. There's ocean waves. You can find all kinds of stuff that you can use when you're traveling. But at home, the best thing I recommend is a air filter, a HEPA air filter / deionizer. So it actually energizes the molecules of air in the room when the machine's working. And it also emits a nice steady hum. And you can get a lot of benefits in one machine. So you have the white noise, you have the air filter, and you have the ionizer emitting negative ions, electrically charged energetic particles. Wonderful stuff. So find one of those, HEPA air filter / deionizer. Anything to make the white noise, to make sure that your room is quiet, okay? And then finally, the temperature is really important. The body is designed to sleep in cooler temperatures. How about that? We're cavemen, right? We got to have it cool in our cave, and this is our modern cave. So the thermostat should be somewhere between 60 and 68 year-round. You want to err on the low side with your covers and your attire. So if you do get cold, of course, you can pull on more covers, but you don't want to get under a big giant pile and then get the night sweats. And speaking of maintaining the optimal temperature throughout the night, that's why this ChiliPad device has become so popular. So check out that website. You can just Google ChiliPad, and they have some good educational material on there as well. But basically, this is a water circulating mattress cover. So the cool water circulates all over your this cover underneath your sheets, and it helps you to jump into a bed that's been cooled to your specifications to facilitate a good night's sleep. And then, of course, keep the mattress at the proper temperature throughout the night so you don't wake up and get disturbed when your body temperature naturally rises. And in the morning time, I talked about the burst of cortisol, serotonin. You also have an elevation of body temperature coinciding with sunrise to help you feel like getting up, as well as transitioning out of the deep sleep cycles into the more REM dominant cycles. So the goal of a good night's sleep actually starts first thing in the morning by exposing your eyes to sunlight, and then you lock into a really good circadian rhythm. So the first thing to do in the morning, instead of reaching for your phone, like 84% of Americans have reported to do something that's proactive and energizing. I have my Brad Kearns morning routine. You can watch it on YouTube, where I do a bunch of leg exercises, core exercises. I keep getting more elaborate with this because I love it so much. It's such a centerpiece of my life, and it sets the tone for a productive day. So I'm doing my leg moves, I'm doing my yoga bridge, I'm doing my cold plunge, something that you can devote and commit to every single morning. The best bet would be to get outdoors and do some gentle movement with your body. So if that's a sun salute sequence in the backyard, if it's just leashing up the dog and walking around the block, something that gets you out into fresh air, open space, sunlight is a great way as soon as you awaken. And then you can go about all your other business, okay? That's a lot of assignments for one item of the 10 on the MOFO mission. But this one is so incredibly important, and all those things flow together so nicely. It's not too much to ask, right, to make a dark, quiet, cool room. So get to it if you're noticing any areas of optimization from the discussion I just delivered. And then I'm going to add one more assignment: nap when you need to, especially when you've experienced a sleep deficit overnight for whatever reason. Napping is a miracle cure for the afternoon blues, the brain fog, the decline in productivity that is natural. We have a natural dip in our circadian rhythms in the afternoon, and I am a very passionate napper. I'm a professional napper now. I'm very good at falling asleep on cue in the afternoon. And what happens is, if not every day, it used to be a lot more. I think I'm feeling better now for whatever reason. But if I'm feeling a decline in productivity, feeling distracted, all of a sudden I'm watching YouTube videos instead of working on my manuscript or what have you, I will go down and take a quick nap. And in 20 minutes, you can achieve an amazing burst of restoration, alertness, change in mood, change in energy. What's happening is you are refreshing the depleted sodium-potassium pumps in your brain neurons. So you can literally fry yourself. You know that expression, I feel fried, I'm pretty fried this afternoon. This is a literal truth, because the electrical circuitry of how your brain fires is depleted because you haven't given your brain proper restoration over the course of the day. Humans are not designed to stare at a screen for hours and hours on end, demanding peak concentration and productivity without breaks. And we'll talk about some of this more in the other missions. But if you can take that nap, if you can discipline yourself to get away from the high stimulatory workplace environment, anytime you feel a slight decline in productivity, it will work wonders, because you'll come back feeling refreshed and energized, your brain neurons firing, you're more alert, you get more done in less time. So the nap didn't even cost you any productivity. Absolutely not. There's tons of books and research to validate this. And even if you claim to not be very good at it, you try, you lie down, you can't fall asleep, you can still get a tremendous benefit from just laying down in a dark area, or even just tipping the seat back in your car if you can't find anything appropriate, and just disengaging the brain for a while, just staring off into space, daydreaming, resting, getting away from the screen. So, in summary, the number one most important assignment is, I think, to modify your belief system to place sleep as your top priority. So when it comes time to that allure of instant gratification in the evenings, you will make the decision, you have the commitment to say, nope, I'm feeling my eyelids getting a little heavy, I'm out, peace out, see you tomorrow. Everything can wait, especially now we have programming on demand. Come on, there's no excuse. Okay, then we want to minimize artificial light and digital stimulation after dark with the various strategies, the eyewear, the orange-hued lamps and lighting. Of course, candlelight and firelight goes in that same category of less offensive, less disruptive light frequencies. Anything that's orange, yellowish, reddish. Get the programming software for your devices to minimize the offense there. And then wind down in that final hour, do parasympathetic stimulating activities, create rituals like taking that bath, giving your brain associations, strong cues for going to sleep. And then the sleep sanctuary has to be pitch dark, cool, 60 to 68, quiet with the noisemaker if necessary, and free from clutter or distraction. Very simple, minimalist bedroom style. Maybe consider the cooling devices, or just making sure that you're not too warm when you go into bed. And then awaken at the same time every day, near sunrise, and get immediately outdoors, exposing your eyeballs to direct sun and doing some exercise, some body movements, something that gets the blood and oxygen flowing. I don't mean stare at the sun. I'm just saying that you want sun hitting your eyes without glasses on, because that is critical for the hormonal processes that get you alert and energized in the morning and have a counter-regulatory response later in the evening. Finally, if you have any deficiencies or you notice decline in productivity, go take a nap. 20 minutes will do you wonders. Thanks for listening, mofos. That's number 1 out of 10. We are on our way. Whew! Thank you for listening to the show. We would love your feedback at getoveryourselfpodcast@gmail.com. And we would also love if you could leave a rating and a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. I know it's a hassle. You have to go to desktop iTunes, click on the tab that says ratings and reviews, and then click to rate the show anywhere from 5 to 5 stars. And it really helps spread the word so more people can find the show. and get over themselves, 'cause they need to. Thanks for doing it.